that way. But there's also, I put on my metrics glasses, all my analytics glasses for all those nerds out there.
But Thomas Bryant jockstrap, get him out of here!
How does that not indicate to you, like, hey, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Donald, get back! They snatched that chain, boy. Get back! What's all gonna do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back! We want that snack wrap. They got 3 flavors. Y'all got 1. Get back!
Hey everybody, welcome into the Big Factory on the Big Play Sports Network presented by FanDuel. I'm Ryan Tyler, he's Jack Rourke, he's Nick Padone, he is Rob Watson. Today is Monday, November 17th, 2025, just past 10 a.m., fellas. We wake up this morning, the Cleveland Browns, another loss in the column as they start to pile up. They lose 23-16, Browns fall to 2-8, 2-3 at home. Ravens improve to 5-5, get back to 500 after their nightmare start. No offensive touchdowns for the Cleveland Browns. They score 16 total points, 0 in the second half as they are shut out as the Browns hand away yet another win to a team that didn't deserve it in Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Fellas, it's the same song, a different day. Every Monday we come in here after a Browns game. Nick, good morning.
Did Lamar Jackson take any snaps with the first team? He looked awful.
He did. He looked butt cheeks, but that's the story of the Cleveland Browns. You could play like butt cheeks because it doesn't matter because we're even more ass cheeks, and you just can continue to find ways to win against our Cleveland Browns. Another great defensive performance wasted. Last time they played the Ravens at home, or excuse me, in Baltimore this season, the defense did their job. The second half, I believe they only had around 9 points at the time, and then you just saw a collapse because the offense kept putting them in bad situations on the field. Well, that's a story yet again. We'll get to the quarterback talk because, believe me, there will be plenty of that. Shedeur Sanders makes his NFL debut. Dylan Gabriel goes out with a concussion, but we start at a high-level view from the game. Guys, 0 points in the second half, 0 offensive touchdowns. No other team in football can do that except the Cleveland Browns.
I'll give you the high-level view, in my opinion, of the game, Ryan. I think it just simply comes down to the fact that it's a fucking embarrassment. Well, like the amount of times that the Baltimore Ravens just tried to hand you that game yesterday, you throw the pick, they give you a pick right back. They fumble a punt return. Like, it was almost like the opposite of the game a couple of years ago when we turned the ball over a bunch and found a way to win with Deshaun down in Baltimore. Like, it's terrible, man. I mean, like, what do we do? What do we look forward to now for the rest of the year?
Well, I would still say Shedeur. I'm intrigued to see him play a full game.
Dare I say I'm a bit hungry.
Myles Garrett's Defensive Player of the Year campaign is maybe cemented by last night's dominant performance, although you are on a losing team, but I don't think that should matter for Defensive Player of the Year. Rob, I'll turn it over to you, man.
Hold on. I'll tell you what you have to look forward to. Shh. Ready for it?
And with the first pick in the
Cleveland Browns
2026
select
NFL Draft.
defensive lineman Peter Woods from Clemson. Anyway, Rob,
The Browns trade back.
Rob, that game was it was pretty disgusting to watch.
It was nasty work.
We try to find new ways to describe Cleveland Browns losses because it's a new one every week. It's the same formula: horrible offense, defense does good.
We could stop complaining about anything Myles Garrett says ever. He's quite literally one of probably the 10 best defensive players ever. Top 3 edge rusher of all time. He's up there with White and Taylor. That's the only people you could say now. So we had that. Well, what were you about to ask, though? Or where you want to take this?
The Miles angle. Could we talk about the Miles angle for a second?
He's some guy.
Just how sad it is, really.
Like I felt bad because I feel like I was in the minority defending him when he was making his comments and when he was talking about not winning and when he was skipping OTAs and when he was off in Japan doing whatever. This is why I said it. This is why I was always defending him. I said I was in the minority also saying you could trade him because he has high value. But this is why he has high value. He doesn't have to show up at anything else but the game, and he's going to be the best defender in the league. And it's insane that we've now seen him. This is the second game this year, four more sacks.
Yes, sir.
This is outrageous, bro. And it's just wasted, completely wasted. Again, you look up the stats. Last time we had 5. I don't think any team had lost by more than 3 points. This time we found a way to lose again by 7 points. It's sad. The defense is amazing. Schwechender, like when they catch the pick, if they don't run it in, like we know that we're not scoring a touchdown. Like it's insane. Devin Bush had to juke 3 people to get us our only touchdown in the game. Like
no, deadass.
It's
I
crazy.
remember when Devin Bush picked that off, and he kind of like he almost stumbled. And I'm like, oh no, he's gonna fall at the 3. We're not scoring a touchdown.
Yep.
That's how bad this Browns offense is. Like you literally have to score pick sixes, fumble recoveries. If
I was
you
gonna
want
say,
points on the board for our Cleveland Browns.
I think they had like -6 yards in the red zone through their first 2 possessions down there. It's just like something embarrassing like that.
Yeah.
You end up with the 6 in the first place.
No, it's quite disgusting.
They scored 9 points. If it wasn't for that pick
Penalties
6,
going
they only
backwards.
scored 9 points.
And of the 9, they got the ball on the 20-yard line twice.
I mean, as usual, you had one drive in the beginning where Quinshon Judkins, where they continued giving the ball. They made a slight hole, and then he would break 8 tackles. He works us all the way down for a field goal. You have your pick 6, and then you have your obligatory pick where they run it into field goal range, and then that's all our points for today. That's the Browns. It's what we do. It's what we do best, man. It's sad.
That's what I do, brother.
You know, I'm looking at Miles, right? And like we've had this conversation, like for as good as Miles has been since 2017, and he's been awesome, and we've thrown around, you know, the future first ballot, you know, Hall of Famer, the generational label, all of that stuff. It really feels like right now is when he's stepping into his prime at age 30. Like he's playing his best ball right now. And you could see that it makes a difference. It makes an impact on the game. And you look elsewhere around the league, like I'm watching Sunday Night Football, and I realize the Philadelphia Eagles are a team that kind of similar to the Browns in the sense that they have an elite defense. And their offense actually isn't awesome, but they're average. They play complementary football, and they're well coached, and they do the little things. So, of course, like teams like that want to add a Myles Garrett, and that was the rumor at the deadline. And I really think that was more so of a report at the deadline from Charles Robinson. And you could see why, because Myles right now is playing the best football that he's ever played. And this is a guy that's been around the organization for almost a decade now. So you would think you would try to capitalize on this window that you have with Myles right now, because you knew that this was coming. Like you knew that the young 22-year-old that you drafted back in 2017 was eventually going to turn into this Charizard type figure. He was eventually going to evolve up, you know, into becoming one of the greatest ever. And it's like, what have you done as an organization since Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski took over in Myles' 4th season in the league to capitalize on this? And the answer is nothing. They've done nothing. They've prepared nothing. And that's why, like, as we pivot to the Shedeur Sanders conversation this morning, all I want to say to people is, like, you're right. Whatever stance, and Zach Jackson said this on his podcast this morning as well, but it was what I went to bed thinking. Whatever your preconceived notion was about Shedeur Sanders, if you were dug in like us and you thought Shedeur Sanders was far and away a better quarterback than Dillon Gabriel, you're right. He proved that on Sunday. He looked better than Dillon Gabriel. He looked like he had more talent, more raw talent than Dillon Gabriel. If you thought that he wasn't ready, if you thought that the immaturity and the fact that he turns his back to the defense was why he fell to the 5th round, you're right. If you thought that the Browns as an organization are irresponsible and they don't know how to develop young quarterbacks, and this ecosystem with Kevin Stefanski as the head coach hasn't developed anybody despite them lying to the national media, and you've got the CBS broadcast right before Shedeur Sanders came in. It was honestly poetically hilarious because the CBS broadcast is talking about how Kevin Stefanski told them through the week that they're maniacs about development. That was the exact quote that was delivered. Who have they developed? You're maniacs about development. You're not very good at it. And here's another thing about the developmental label that the Browns throw around. The NFL is not a developmental league. The NBA, baseball, you could develop in those leagues. There's the G League in the NBA, and young players come in at 18 years old with a year of college experience, and they've got time. In baseball, you've got to pay your dues in the minor leagues, unlike any other professional sports. You spend years after being drafted before you even see light of day at the big league level. And then even when you do, you're usually a platoon guy, and you don't see a ton of action. In the NFL, you don't get development. So for the Browns to hang their laurels on development, and it's something that they're not even good at, in a league that doesn't reward development, they're completely lost. They're completely broken, guys. Everything that they do is wrong.
Can you name legitimately one player we've developed in the last 5 years offensively?
I mean, not a quarterback, certainly no.
I mean, you
No,
don't,
no,
you don't
no
really,
skill
like,
position.
Yeah, I'm going
players,
around.
No linemen.
You don't really develop like skill players. It's like linemen and quarterbacks, and we're really bad at both.
And it's not a developmental.
Jedrick Wills.
It's not a league that's centered around development. Like you come in and you find good football players and you put them on your team and then you start them in the games. Like this is very simple and they make it really hard.
Well, for those that missed the game, first of all, congratulations, good for you.
Yeah, you're lucky.
Miles
I
Garrett.
thought it was an entertaining game.
It was entertaining.
Miles
yeah.
Garrett's 4 sacks. That brings him to 15 sacks on the season.
Holy
Still
shit.
7 games to go.
I think he
His
gets the
4th
record.
He gets 30.
multi-sack of the game. Garrett became the first player in NFL history with at least 12 sacks in 6 consecutive seasons. He was previously tied with the record for Pro Football Hall of Famer Lawrence Taylor. Sack record, 22.5. That happened by Michael Strahan in 2005 and TJ Watt in 2021. Garrett's high is just 16 sacks, surprisingly enough. Well, he's already at 15, as I mentioned, with 7 games to go. I'm not going to ask the question, is he going to break it? Because I think we all might say that, yeah, he very might break it. My question to you is more so, is this getting to the point where we can comfortably say this is one of, if not the biggest waste of talent in sports history?
I mean, Mike Trout would throw a punch at you right now, but I think short of him, probably.
I mean, like we could say Mike Trout as well. I get it, but what's the difference between Mike Trout and Myles Garrett? They're both maybe potentially the goats of their position.
Mike Trout got to play offense and defense. What else can you say?
Yeah, I like the
Yeah.
Mike Trout is the one argument, but in my point, I'm like, what laurels do I have to rest on that it's not just as bad, if not worse?
This is like LeBron on the Cavs before he left.
You know,
It's up there, bro. Like, this is bad.
Yeah, I
They're
think you can at
fascinating-
least say the Browns like attempted to get a lot better. It didn't. It's like we talked about it with like we can't really accuse them of tanking because they tried to do something and it just blew up in their faces. But like there was an active, concerted effort.
does that make it better
about
or
5 years?
worse?
I mean, I think that makes it better that you at least tried. Mike Trout, I mean, don't get me wrong, you sign Ohtani, but they're like, baseball's much more than a 2-man sport. There was never a friggin' thing out to help him around.
Well, what'll be
Very
fascinating.
similar here, bro.
What'll be fascinating is what happens this offseason. Like I'm at the point, and I think everybody kind of is, and I know I played the draft chime kind of tongue in cheek, but like the path forward has to be identified sooner than later because of Myles Garrett. Like Myles Garrett legitimizes this entire thing. If you didn't have Myles Garrett, then it would be like, okay, this really doesn't matter. You could try the Mac Jones thing. You could try to bring back Kenny Pickett. Like you could do the reclamation, whatever. But because you've got Myles playing at such a high level, like it would benefit you to try to make this a quick turnaround and not to strip it down to the studs and rebuild, because he proves every week. Like we said, every Browns game, it's like Groundhog Day. You're in it. You're leading even. Like they led or were tied for most of the game Sunday. I had no doubt that they would find a way to lose because the offense is so inept. But they had the lead for most of the game. They had the lead. Dylan Gabriel only had 3 incompletions. He didn't even make it till halftime of his 2nd professional start at home. And fans were chanting to see the other guy because we're wasting a really good Super Bowl caliber product defensively. So I think if you get like a John Dorsey in here that could identify talent and get them pen to paper and put them on the football field, this could be something that is palatable quicker than some might believe, just because like you have Myles and he's so good, and that defensive line is so good, and Mason Graham is making plays, and the defensive secondary is finally healthy. Like Tyson Campbell's been awesome, Denzel Ward's been healthy, Delpit's made strides this year, Schlesinger looks like the steal of the draft with the 1st pick in the 2nd round. Like you've got so many things to talk about on the defensive side of the football, and the offensive side is just a black hole.
And you made such a great point too about just knowing the whole entire time. Like I'm someone who never ever bets against my own team. Like I had a debate with my friends over the weekend. You know, like when you fade your feelings, they call it. Like if your team's playing in the national title game, you bet on the other team to win just in case. Like no, I threw the house on Notre Dame and I had the heartbreak. I like going down with the ship. The millisecond Devin Bush got that 2nd foot in the end zone, I threw money on the Ravens yesterday. Like that's just the way it goes with this team. Like you know.
Well, let's talk about what everybody wants to talk about, and that is, of course, Shedeur Sanders' NFL debut. But before we do that, I got to tell everybody about Garage Beer. Garage Beer comes in just 2 flavors, classic light lager as well as that classic lime. No frills, no bitterness, no IPAs. It's just beer the way you want beer to taste, and that is beer-flavored beer. So scan that QR code now. Go give their website a visit, drinkgaragebeer.com, to find local retailers who sell garage beer near you. Again, that is drinkgaragebeer.com. All right, guys. Well, we've been waiting for it, and it finally happened. Shedeur Sanders makes his NFL debut. Could have gone a lot better, that's for sure. 4 for 16, 47 yards. Sacked 2 times, could have been more. QBR of 2.4, that's not a typo. And a rating of 13.5. Dylan Gabriel goes out with a concussion. Shedeur Sanders steps in the second half. And it looked like it was going to start off well. That first throw to the right side, got the ball there quick. It was accurate.
Check down.
But after there, it was all downhill. Shedeur Sanders, Zachary Orr was sending everybody on the Ravens at Shedeur Sanders. That was, of course, the smart thing to do. They had no answers. Shedeur Sanders gets thrown into the wolves. So my question is, how fair is it to criticize Shedeur Sanders for his first half of NFL football?
Yeah, I mean it's a 5th round pick making a spot start. Where like, you know, now all the ghosts of Christmas past are coming out. That's my favorite part of whenever a new Browns quarterback has a meltdown. Now I get to hear about Luke McCown and his experience as a backup quarterback, because that's just what everybody wants to hear. You know, next Otto Graham is going to come out of the grave and tell us about the time that he was a backup quarterback. Like, so we're going to continue to play these games. And I get, like, the thing about, here's my thing about the reps conversation, right? And was Shedeur put in a fair, responsible spot? Traditionally, I agree with what Kevin Stefanski said when he said, when you've got a young rookie quarterback like Dylan Gabriel and he's your starter, he needs the majority of the reps in practice. You only get 3 practices a week. They're about an hour long in duration. Like, you don't have much time to get these dudes ready for game day. Here's the caveat, right? Stefanski, you yourself opened up Pandora's box when Joe Flacco was the starting quarterback, because you were giving Dylan Gabriel first-team reps, and you admitted that publicly. So you double-backed, and then when Joe Flacco was removed from the equation and it was Dylan Gabriel, and everybody was looking, well, your philosophy was you've got to get the next guy ready because the expectations to see both of these cats this year, it was no, that now it's all just Dylan Gabriel getting first team reps. So he effectively created this hellscape for himself because of the way that this entire situation was handled. And this takes me back to the summer when I was telling you guys the 4-man quarterback competition was a huge mistake. It did nobody any favors. The fact that their initial plan was Kenny Pickett and they bailed on that for a 5th round pick. Then their backup plan was Joe Flacco and they bailed on that after 4 starts. They have no idea what they're doing. They want to call themselves developmental maniacs or whatever the quote was. That's great. You can believe that about yourselves. Like, Kevin Stefanski could put his head on his pillow every night and go to sleep thinking that he's Kyle Shanahan and he could make it work with any quarterback. He's closer to Mike McDaniel than he is Kyle Shanahan. They haven't developed anybody. So that's kind of where I stand with the preparation thing, is that they've created this situation themselves. And for anybody trying to defend Dylan Gabriel or defend Shedeur or defend the Browns, like, this was a dysfunctional situation from Jump Street. And now everybody kind of gets a glimpse at just how dysfunctional the entire plan was. Never made any sense.
So, to go back, because I don't want to talk about the reps too much, because no one was asking for 50-50. You were asking for him to get like 1 or 2. So people would at least know his cadence, and he would at least get to throw a route on an actual play to Jerry Jeudy, not something in like the warm-ups of the game. Is it fair to judge him? No. Just like it wasn't fair for judgment of Dylan Gabriel after if he came into the Lions game when he came in and threw a touchdown pass in one of those games to Dylan Sampson or something at the end of the game. Did he play good? No. Like, not at all. He played bad. But all I could take away from it was I was intrigued to see more because of the actual flashes that I saw that I haven't seen probably all season. I haven't seen a quarterback roll out and make a play and get 6 yards, make a guy miss. I saw a great rip down the first 25 yards. Like the first 2 passes, check downs. I thought he was playing worse than Dylan all the way up until the last drive. That's when I finally thought he was playing above replacement level in terms of what we would have got from Dylan. I think if Dylan was the quarterback, we wouldn't have made it down to wherever we got, like the 30, 40. He throws up a nice 50-50 ball. DB makes a great play. He's keeping the drives alive. He's scrambling with purpose. I like how he kind of just gets upfield and gets it done, takes his yards. We could not pick up a blitz to save our lives. When he did get time in the pocket, he made his one nice throw of the day. I think he showed some potential. I'm not saying he's going to be some all-pro quarterback, but I would like to see him play a little bit more and see what he could do. I think he makes the attempts to push the ball down the field, but the bottom line is he holds the ball way too long, and especially on this O-line. It's probably never going to be so unless he could start learning to get it out quick or throwing the ball away. It's going to be some issues for him, but I do want to see if he could get out there and what he could do with a week of being the guy and them tailoring the scheme around him, having that week to prepare and seeing what it would then look like. But
which, by the way, I think that's possible. Like, usually quarterbacks aren't able to defy concussion protocol in just a couple of days. So I actually do think that there's a coin flip chance that Shedeur Sanders starts in Vegas, and that's a bad Raiders team. How Browns would it be if Pete Carroll made the decision to put Kenny Pickett on the field? Kenny Pickett versus Shedeur Sanders, Browns Raiders in the desert. How classic would that be?
Could be a lot of click around the country.
For Shedeur Sanders, I mean, it was definitely the most excited anybody, I think, a majority of fans have been for Cleveland Browns all season long, ever since you kind of realized that once it was going to go off the rails, whether that was the Lions game, whether that was the Ravens game, the first one. Like, once you knew the season went off the rails, everybody was waiting for this moment.
Most into a game I've been in weeks.
And you saw life to a point, like the throw to Fannin. The throw to Fannin, that was fun. That was
He had
exciting.
a chance to win the game.
That was a nice ball to Gage. The DB made a hell of a play. Gage almost held on to it. Like, the narrative would be completely shifted this morning if he holds on to that ball.
What would we be talking about right now?
If he makes the throw to Bond, that would have. But I also, what I noticed most too was that I actually saw emotion out of players who I thought had been really dead for the past couple weeks. I haven't seen emotion from any offensive lineman getting beat all year. Wyatt Teller almost fought a ref after, and the dude jumped off sides, bad missed call, or maybe he had the perfect snap, whatever. It was a coin flip play, but I'm seeing him angry. I'm seeing the crowd, there's life. I'm seeing the people on the sidelines every time he makes plays. And if they were few and far between, but I'm seeing it, the linemen helping him up, trying to gas him up. But I saw, like, real life, there was real energy into what had been a very dead situation. And I do think the best scenario for the team is to see if you could carry that into the next game. I think it'll probably be pretty dead if Dylan starts again. We'll be back to the same old. And it wouldn't be something you could completely argue because Shedeur didn't play well. So it's not like you could say, oh, he had this great performance that he should be the starter. It's just, you know, if Kevin makes that choice, you can't really get mad at him because technically Dylan played better than him in the game. So it would be hard to say if your starter's healthy and the backup played worse, you put the backup in. So it's just an unfortunate situation. I think it would be best for the team to see Shedeur play, see what he could do on that week, and see and get a real look at the quarterback so we could just fully close the book on whatever it is with these quarterbacks this year. And then, like Nick said, we just decide who we're drafting next year and the 8 offensive linemen we need to pick and how we could get 2 more receivers in this receiver room. But it's just a rough situation overall.
Did Kevin say that Dylan Gabriel would start against Las Vegas if he was healthy, or just that he would start again the next time he's healthy?
He said he would start against the Raiders if he clears.
So could there be a world where he's not ready, Shedeur plays, Shedeur does well, and then keeps it?
Maybe.
Correct.
Maybe.
Like, when I watched Kyle Hamilton sack him and then he threw up the wrist, like,
that was minus 10,000 for the first sack of Shedeur Sanders.
It was like Michael Sam sacked Johnny Manziel.
But
that's gonna happen on every play.
Like, if you're the Cleveland Browns, use that. Like, Shedeur is such a personality that you can rally around. Like, and when he's on your team, you know he's the spotlight, the center of attention. And while some people might not like that, but like, use that. Every team's gonna want to come here and sack Shedeur and throw up the wrist. Like, use that as like some sort of motivation to grind out the rest of the season.
Gotta have the plays. Gotta have the plays to celebrate. I also liked what I heard from Myles Garrett talking about how he got up in front of the team. He was taking responsibility for a loss. Don't know if Dylan has done that, so I'm not going to come out and say that automatically makes Shedeur a better leader. I don't know. Maybe Dylan spoke to the team or not. But him getting up there and in a game where obviously you get thrown into action and you're kind of trying to take the blame, like that's clear. That was big of the kid.
And Miles not letting them. That was big too. Miles saying, no, that's a team loss. Like there's more that we all could have done to not it does show you that like not all is dead, and the kid definitely brings juice.
Leadership traits,
like
someone you would want to play for.
The thing with Dillon Gabriel is, and I think this was abundantly apparent to all of us while we were watching the draft, like Dillon Gabriel has no talent. Like Shedeur might not be ready. Like maybe he gets these 3 practices and starts against the Raiders and gets sacked 100 times, but throws 4 or 5 really brilliant passes. Like it's probably what to expect. But he at least has talent. Like Shedeur has talent. Dillon Gabriel really doesn't. So I think the thing that's going to be the remainder of this season is you're going to see people just clamor for Shedeur regardless of how it looks. Like even if he is taking 15 to 20 yard sacks because he continues to think that he's at Colorado and he turns his back to the defensive line in the AFC North, like that's never going to work, but he's going to continue to try it because he knows that he has a big arm and he knows that he can deliver the football accurately when he has a chance to plant his feet, and even that, which is like a shell of what you should be doing in the National Football League. Like it's not winning quarterback play at all, but fans are going to always gravitate towards that when the other guy just has no talent at all, and the other guy is so unmatched. And that's another piece too of like the whole reps thing and preparing Shedeur to be a snap away. Dillon Gabriel is like 5'9", 185. Like in traditional quarterback rooms, Luke McCown, yes, I get that the backup QB isn't usually getting action, but this kid has shown you, Dillon Gabriel has shown you that he has no chance in any single game that he goes out there. He's always getting crunched. He's always getting flattened. Like this was an inevitability because he is just not ready. And I know we're saying the same thing about Shedeur, but Dillon Gabriel is not ready for this moment. And that's why I think that the onus is really on the organization. And I can't fathom why anybody would want Andrew Berry or Kevin Stefanski back after this season, because they've proved they are not ready themselves in year 6 of being a head coach and a general manager to foster an environment where young offensive players can thrive. They have now proven that this is not an environment with them as the leaders and them as the figureheads that can foster a winning environment with young offensive players.
Realistically, no one will be happy unless we come back. Like the best scenario, what I think is most fans' mind now is you keep the entire defense, including Jim Schwartz. You keep it all because it's just been amazing. And then we get a complete reconstruction of the offense. We have a new top pick quarterback that we take with the number 1 or number 2 pick in the draft. We have a new coach, possibly a new coordinator. Whoever's calling plays, well, probably new head coach and coordinator, and then maybe a new GM. That's probably what people are looking for. In some order, I think the ranks would go offense, new coordinator, or new head coach, new coordinator, new GM, and then the quarterbacks and everything is going to be what it is. But we're looking. You're going to need huge changes, and you're going to need to just. It's going to be like a 2-3 year build to get this offense to be probably, if you wanted to even say a Browns offense could be at the top of the league, but maybe like middle of the pack instead of absolute worst.
And then you're talking about Myles Garrett being a shell of what he is right now, 3 years down the road. So again, like that's where my frustrations really land, and that's why I'm kind of done like yelling and screaming about the quarterback thing, because they made the worst decision. They made the worst trade in sports history for Deshaun Watson, and nobody's been held accountable for that. And instead, they've actually snowballed bad decisions on top of that. And they're really just wasting everybody's time.
Also, it doesn't matter who starts next week if KT Leviston is staying at left tackle. Jack Conklin also is awful at right tackle. Wyatt Teller and Joel Bitonio both getting pushed back into the. It's all bad either way.
Do they know how bad Conklin's injury is yet?
No,
they said
he got
anything?
hurt again?
No.
Yeah, he left while Shedeur was out there.
So
and
Cornelius
never
Lucas
returned.
was back in there, or they put in
They put Tevin Jenkins at right tackle.
Yeah.
And again,
Who I don't think had ever played right tackle in the NFL before.
It speaks to my disdain of this front office. Like, how over the last 2 drafts, they didn't draft an offensive tackle over the last 2 drafts. The only offensive lineman they took was Zach Zinter, who's a healthy scratch on game day. Like, that's why you are where you're at. That's why you're at where you're at.
My ghost's going to have to play soon.
Hey, Mike Hall finally made an appearance and got a sack. How about that?
The defense is amazing. I have no quarrels at all. Tyson Campbell has been shut down on the other side.
Yeah, I mean,
the safeties are playing great. Ronnie Hickman almost had another pick. I have no complaints with anything on the defense.
Could
but
Andrew Berry be like co-GM and he could be the GM of the defense? And
and
we
get one
bring
for the
John
offense
Ford?
too, yeah.
He may be
GM.
safe in a way. Like, he's out of everyone, he might be safe because of how spectacular this defense is. But they need a complete shift of everything they've done on offense in the past 4 years or however long, 4 or 5 years he's been here. They need to just flip the page and do the exact opposite.
But he's still
And they have
responsible for a lot of the offensive woes. So it's
Yeah,
like
it's-
if I got a 30 on math in my ACT, and by God, and everybody knows that didn't happen. That's why I do what I do for a living, because I don't have to do math. But then I got a 10 in science. I got a 10 in language arts. Like, guess what? I'm not going to college.
Hey, I'm not complaining, because as long as you just retain everybody, the defense will keep being good for the next couple years. So I'm not, if you get a new guy in and he only knows how to do offense, but he can't do defense for a couple years, maybe he could get the offense respectable in 1.5 years. Because we had like the 15th best offense in the NFL. We might be 8-2 right now instead of 2-8.
Look at
That's
what
not,
Ben
that's
Johnson.
not crazy to say.
Look at what Ben
Not
Johnson
crazy
is
to
doing
say.
with the Bears, man. How about Dave Canales in Carolina?
Okay, but we say the Bears. What every year the Bears are using first, second, third round picks on offense. Burden, Aduze,
Colston
Caleb
Loveland.
Williams, Colston Loveland. Everything's going
Cole
in. They
Kmet
draft
was a-
linemen. It's there's talent out there. That's nothing. There's former Heisman winners. There's former 1,500-yard receivers in college, running backs. They went and get DeAndre Swift. Like they did that, and then they finally topped it off with a guy who actually knows how to develop and call plays.
Rob, but you got a 5th round pick for Joe Flacco and for
Ty,
Kenny Pickett.
we
What are you
do-
complaining about?
No, yeah,
Why are you
yeah,
complaining?
'cause we
we're
drafted-
gonna
we
we're
drafted
gonna
Laser
own.
eyes,
well in the
laser
third
eyes.
round.
We are
man.
going to
Nah,
own. Like,
we got
guys,
Cedric Tillman.
let me pull this up.
We got
the
Ced too, bro.
when is the NFL draft 2026?
Hold on, we drafted 2 running backs.
Where's it at
man.
this year?
It's in Pittsburgh.
Are we
Dylan
going?
Sampson's underutilized.
Dude, I mean, we should be parked there for day 3 of the NFL. The Browns will champion April 25th in Pittsburgh, PA. They
will be
for day
Drew
3
Aller.
of the NFL draft. 5th round,
Don't we
6th
get half the
round,
picks that
7th round. It's gonna be all Browns, baby. Andrew Berry laser eyes because of all of these trades that he's
Yeah,
made
who
for all of
who
these
we
great
getting in
5th
the
rounds.
6th that's gonna like come in and make an impact for us?
I don't
Donovan
know, some
Peoples-Jones.
gadget receiver that
Type.
nobody's ever heard
To
of
be
before.
fair, 2 of the better, like more consistent receivers that I've seen on the team were Higgins and Peoples-Jones. That were 6th and 7th round picks. That might have been all Baker, but hey man, I just know I don't want to see another guy drafted in the 3rd round and then he's supposed to be our game changer in the offense. I don't want to see it again. I
It's
really
just so wild to take a
Not my
quarterback
goat
in like
Jamari,
94.
not my goat Jamari
Then-
Thrash with all these
every
drafts.
year, bro. Every year, it's the 3rd round guy that's supposed to be the guy. David Bell, Anthony Schwartz, Jamari Thrash, Cedric Tillman. It's over and over again. I think Callaway was a 3rd round pick once upon a
Dude,
time.
he was
bro.
up there, yeah.
I'm so sick of it, man. I'm so sick of it. And then you're surprised when it's a wide receiver 4, fringe wide receiver 3 at best. At best, he'd be cool in a rotation. He'd be good on like the Chiefs.
Anthony
Cedric
Schwartz was,
Tillman would
Anthony
probably go
Schwartz was
crazy
a
on the
track
Chiefs.
star.
We would go Fed on the Lions or something as the 4th guy because they got to double team every other guy and they got to respect the run. He's our number 1 here. He's our jump ball guy.
All right. Anybody watch college football this weekend?
Yeah, Ty Simpson's trash, so not picking him.
Our options are dwindling.
Yeah.
He was garbage.
Suddenly Drew Aller's
Had
not
him
looking so
locked.
bad.
And then when receivers were open, he was throwing it 15 yards over their heads. He was looking like Dylan Gabriel.
Oh man.
I finally tuned into a game and stopped seeing the highlights. I was like, wait a minute. Ball is bad.
One thing I really wanted to talk about with you guys today before we get out of here and do our FanDuel parlay was just in college football, the whole topic debate of Heisman moments. Like Fernando Mendoza, the comeback against Penn State to lead the game-winning drive, the Omar Cooper catch, Heisman moment, stamp it. Marcel Reed, now people are calling that a Heisman moment, even though he looked like, I mean, when I say
Oh,
say poop, like
I'll give
that's not even a good enough description. Like every
it was
ball
bad.
he threw, I thought was going to be an interception.
But I will always give respect for a second half lock in.
Yeah.
Because Mendoza didn't look good
And that's
before
my
that
point.
drive.
And
I
I'm
will
saying-
always give credit to a lock in.
And he had his Heisman moment. They outscored them. What would that be? 28-0 in the second half. They make a historic comeback.
Lenoris Sellers
Marcel
also
Reed now
trash.
plus 550 in the Heisman race. He's 3rd. Julian saying plus 200. The knock is that he doesn't have this quote unquote Heisman moment. Now, I guess my question to you guys is 1, is that fair? And 2, how can you knock a dude for not being in a situation because of how good he's been consistently?
Well, also, the season ain't over. You know, like
Still a lot of time,
Yeah,
though.
there's still a lot of time, and I don't think it's gonna happen against Rutgers. Like, I don't think you're gonna find yourself in a big hole.
He's
that Julian's
got 2 potential real games.
But well, yeah, like in terms of Heisman moment, which is really just like a fan-generated thing or a media-generated narrative, like if Sayan's able to beat Michigan for the first time in 5 years,
that's a moment.
Isn't that a moment in and of itself? Even if it is just a throttling where like they're really resting Jeremiah Smith and Cardell Tate for that game, which is kind of what it seems like, and they go out there and they just go nuclear and blow the doors off Michigan, and he really doesn't have like a true come from behind, like look at this guy put his team on his back. But like I think just the narrative of like the potential that Julian Sayin has to take down Michigan for the first time in 5 seasons. Like I think that's a moment. That could be the moment. Pretty big.
But all these awards in essence are kind of never fair. So it's hard for me to say because there's guys that have put up the craziest stats, but they weren't even close to the Heisman because of maybe where they played or conference opponents. They lost a couple games, XYZ. So it's never very objective. So I won't, and they'll always go with the guy that maybe they have similar stats, but he had this crazy play that everyone remembers. I think Sayin still has time to have his moment. Overall, it's probably gonna be him, Reed, or Mendoza, and whatever you want to say, however you want to draw it up. I think all guys are deserving. It's kind of just picking the ripest apple. They're all red. It's all probably gonna taste the same. But
I was gonna say that was almost a real bad day in College Station too. Like Mike Elko getting the extension Saturday morning if they would have gotten shit pumped and lost to South Carolina. But I don't know. I'm a little bit different from you guys. Maybe it's because I'm not an Ohio State fan, so I see it through a different lens than you guys.
Jeremiah.
No, I'm not saying Jay Lesh with that. I'm saying
spin move, by the way.
that's
a Heisman moment.
That was a Heisman moment. That's an actual Heisman moment. I don't think just simply winning a football game against your rival is a Heisman moment. I think it does have to be a physical moment in the game where he does something when it is relatively tight. Like when I think of Heisman moment, I think of Johnny spinning out against Alabama.
You think of the
like
Charles Woodson return.
Yeah, I mean, but there's got to be like.
But he can make a big time throw and put him up 14 in the fourth, and that could be a moment.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it'll be a moment that people will remember and associate as a crazy Heisman moment by any means. But no, there's as Ryan said, there's a credit to him for not even needing to be in a position to have a Heisman moment at any point in time this year because of how dominant that Ohio State team has been.
It's fair, but then the stats aren't like super game, bro. Like they're great, he's efficient, but it's just you kind of got to have a.
Well, it's just not a great year for the Heisman, to be honest.
It's been too easy and too boring, and that's as unfair as that is. You don't win the Heisman with it being too easy and too boring. So.
Fair enough. Well, other news around college football. Georgia, they beat Texas. That gives Texas 3 losses. They're looking on the outside in of the college football playoff. Ole Miss handles Florida. Notre Dame handles Pitt in Pitt. The college game day was. USC escapes Iowa. Michigan barely escapes Northwestern.
Michigan sucks.
Virginia takes down Duke. Duke no longer controls their own destiny to the ACC championship game. And Navy with a big win with big implications as they take down number 24th South Florida. At home. I believe Navy midshipmen undefeated this season at home. Clemson actually gets finally another victory. They take down number 20 Louisville, Indiana routes. Wisconsin 31-7, and of course our Buckeyes take down UCLA. That one was never a contest, 48-10.
I mean, they blew the doors off of UCLA without their best players on the field. Yeah.
I mean, UCLA stinks.
If you saw Nico was ducking. So.
If you were a head coach at UCLA, which like I know that vacancy's there, why wouldn't you just try your hand at being like an OC in the NFL or a DC in the NFL, or just being like a champion at like one of these ACC schools? Like if you could go coach Duke, a school that has like a little bit of promise, because like, okay, you could hang around the Big Ten and hope that eventually Ryan Day either gets hit by a bus or leaves to go to the NFL, and neither of those things seem any close to happening. And then you've also got to worry about Oregon. You've also got to worry about even like a non-conference like Notre Dame. You've got to worry about Michigan. Like if you're UCLA or like Washington, who I know made it all the way a couple years, like why are you even trying in this Big Ten? Like it's just never going to work out for you.
The money's there. It's a historic school. They're going to give it a shot. Job's a job.
It's like whoever you take a program like Maryland, who was like, not that Maryland was ever that special in the ACC, but like Maryland was traditionally like a 8-4 program every single year. They're just like, oh yeah, we'll just suck at football for eternity for an extra like $5 million a year.
They'll have basketball.
Sell your soul.
There's more to it than just football. It's a school overall. For the school, I'm sure moving to the Big Ten versus the conference that now has 2 teams that they left.
Well, it kind of fucks all of them though. Like, but more so like the USC is like, why is the libero for the UCLA women's volleyball team going to New Jersey on Saturday for like for a conference game in front of 10 people, you know,
What's that matter,
they
though?
screwed the other sports.
Because
I
she's
think.
getting free school, probably.
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
why.
what she gets to what? Like,
I mean, it's tough to
what
do,
if they
man, go
wanna
across the
travel?
country.
I mean,
It's a lot of travel.
I traveled a lot last year. No one really. I mean, you get off school, you just do it on the computer.
Yeah.
Professors
I mean, it's
usually.
still tough. Like I think it's
professors
tough though.
usually
Like
give
when they used to just go,
extensions and stuff.
and it costs the program way more too.
I was
but
really
they're
just
getting
thinking
more-
I don't think you
they're
can argue
getting
it's
more
not
money
not
being in the
detrimental
conference.
to the smaller sports though.
I don't know how though. I don't know what are you saying?
It takes so much fucking money to get these people across the country
No, it's-
every single week.
I get your point, Jack.
travel.
Yeah, and I
contracts,
think I'm right for sure.
it's just different, bro. But
No, it's I mean
I don't know.
it's different, but
Personally,
like,
having done it, it's just I think it's not as crazy as you're saying. Other
but I
than
mean,
maybe
like,
you'll
were you
have a
going
night where
California to New
I was
Jersey,
going Boston to
Michigan?
Missouri. It was like a 6-hour flight. Bro.
I know, but like they're literally going coast to coast every single
saying,
week.
But like it's
wild.
It's a D1 sport, and it's a
Right.
travel contracting. You're used to it, so
Right.
they're just doing it. The professors will work with the athletes. It's
Yeah.
it's
I mean, they're
pretty
gonna
normal.
they're gonna
3-hour
graduate. I'm saying
change,
kind of
you're still able to
for
get
the
I'm not
smaller
saying
schools.
it's sweet, but in being in the Big Ten versus a conference that's now disbanded and has no money, like they're gonna make the choice they got to make, bro.
All right,
Yeah.
Nick, let's tell everybody about FanDuel and head on out of here.
Did Cavs play tonight?
That's a great question.
I think the
Oh,
Cavs do play tonight. Thank goodness, because we definitely need something to cling on to, and I know that they haven't had the start that they're looking for, but we're just looking for anything here. NBA tip-off, FanDuel is your home for live betting. So even if you missed the start of the game or you just want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who's going to score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at an even bigger payout. However you want to play, now is the perfect time to join our friends at FanDuel because they're giving new customers $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/bigplay to sign up today. Play your game with FanDuel. They're the official sports betting partner of the NBA. You got to be 21 plus. Present in select states. First online real money wager only. Bonus or a $5 first deposit is required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Man, that font was small, but I got through it.
It's drink.
All right, Jack, we don't really have a parlay quite put together. We have our legs. We do need legs from Nick and from Rob. I'll let you guys know as we do this live. This might be the most unique start to a parlay we've done.
Oh, I was so fired up to read this off. I was so excited. I didn't know we haven't done.
Well, we start off here. I threw George Pickens anytime touchdown tonight, and then Jack decided to go Portland State money
No,
line.
that's not their name. Maybe it's the Park Block Bombers. Give me the fellas. Portland State, baby.
So we need two more
Highest
legs.
three-point
We
shooting
have
percentage team in the
Portland
country.
State money line and a George Pickens anytime touchdown on our ticket on FanDuel Sportsbook so far. Nick, are you headed to the Cavs game for your leg?
I'm
on Peacock.
I've got Geno Smith to throw an interception against the Cowboys.
I don't think you could parlay.
Yeah, you can't parlay interception.
nuts. Then
I'm going Donovan Mitchell over 39.5 points, rebounds, assists.
throw me Cavs money line.
So we got Cavs
little
money line, and what was
SGP
it for Donovan?
PRA over 39.5 or whatever is that in the line.
Players,
Points, rebounds, assists, player combo.
I gotta look at combos.
points, rebounds.
Three finger.
Oh, I see player combos. That's in points, rebounds, and assists. Donovan Mitchell over 39.5.
Yes.
All right, well, that brings us to plus 690. Cleveland Cavaliers money line, Donovan Mitchell over 39.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Portland State money line.
Block Bombers.
And a George Pickens anytime touchdown parlay that together, plus 690. Throw 10 on that bad boy. You'll be walking home with $69 in your pocket. All right, everybody, appreciate you tuning in to the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Pannone, Rob Watson. Shout out Garage Beer as well. Oh, it's getting tough to come in here on Mondays and do the show every week with our
Oh,
Cleveland
we've got
Browns.
some breaking news. Jaguars have signed safety Juan Thornhill to
Wow,
their
the
practice
chosen
squad.
one.
The practice squad for Juan Thornhill. He counts
boy.
a friendly reminder: $5 million against the Browns cap space next year. Deshaun Watson counts $80 million against the cap space next year. I believe David Njoku on the hook for $20 million next year against the cap, even though he is a free agent, and the entire offensive line free agents next season.
What a great news to end on. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow, same people, same time. Until then,
Shout out to boys.
go Browns.